Alrighty, Steeler Nation, welcome back to Steelers Nation Australia and also Steelers Dynasty Podcast on YouTube and I think on Twitch as well. Going to bring in my good mate Bubba, and I think Shane might be coming in shortly. What's going on, Bubba? How are you, mate?
Just living a dream here on the Western Pennsylvania side of the world. So,
yeah, it's
how
funny
you
because
doing?
I'm doing okay. It's funny because I put out a video on my channel now. It's boycott the Super Bowl, and I feel like I put up a sign, and then like about 50,000 people have come around and started joining. I'm not starting the rally. I'm just saying like I'm not doing it. Like I'm not one leading. They're like, yeah, get him, Mark, get him. I'm like, I'm just putting out the information.
Well, everybody probably feels the same way you do, and you just did a video because everybody's taking their torches and starting to put the flames around the NFL. It's just getting ridiculous.
We're going to start there because I think that's very warranted, though. For me, I think that the Chiefs have been given extra powers and extra help along the way. And I think the Bills deserve the chance at least to get that fourth down and even the third down. Were you happy with that game? I know you did a live for it. Like, I'm not happy at all. I still think
I didn't have any. I took the Buffalo Bills. Me and Shane did. I didn't have any skin in the game, but you could see that plays weren't going the way they should be going. And even the guy in New York said that Allen was across the line for the first down. So it's just crazy.
I thought while watching it live, I thought, nah, he won't be, because I remember I commented on your video. I thought, nah, he wasn't over. But then looking back at it, they should have given the first down. They should have given the third down as well. Easily.
Well, and also that interception catch that hit the ground, and they gave it to the Kansas City Chiefs, and then they just two plays later
that's
scored.
a wild one too. I went back and watched that. Not one person has possession. They both have possession. Therefore, it should be an incomplete pass. That's in the rule book. If no one has possession, like that simultaneously means that no one has. I'm pretty sure no one has it. Then it hits the dirt. Then it should. That's like only the Chiefs could catch that ball and get a reception.
Yeah, right? It's crazy. It's crazy.
So, I know you are going live with Shane too on Steelers Dynasty podcast for the Super Bowl in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, we'll probably watch the commercials and do whatever and ask. We're going to ask everybody what they have to eat and just try to be entertaining because I don't even care. I wish the Bills would have got in because it would have meant something more maybe to the Super Bowl because they never had an opportunity.
You have Josh Allen versus Jalen Hurts, so who's going to get there first? Buffalo Bills have been to 4 of them and lost 4 of them. It would have been so much more fun to see Bills versus the Eagles, but I think that Taylor Swift has signed a contract with the WWE. Oh, wait a minute, with the NFL. Right? It's that fucking obvious right now. It's not even funny.
It is obvious.
Grid, who runs the Detroit Lions Syndicate, like just make it less obvious. Just hide it better, and make it not as fake as it looks right now. They're teeing up Mahomes, and he's a great quarterback, good side, but they're teeing him up to go on the three-peat and talk about that. When the more talented side was the Bills, and they got more called, and I think as well the Eagles are a more talented side too. If I see Barkley run like 27 yards and get like 4 carries, I'm be pissed. Well, I won't see it because I'm not watching it. If I hear about it the next day, you know what I mean? Like he's going to run. Like if they go away from that, or like I don't know what Jalen Hurts is going to do in this game, and you're going to watch and have a bit of fun. But I think the Chiefs, they're going to somehow have home field advantage with the refs.
And Travis Kelce, what did he have? 1 catch or 2 catches or like 13 yards or something?
And he's just like singing. I can't. You know what? It does remind me of the Patriots. He reminds me of Gronk being a Gronk, right? And the Patriots remind me of the Chiefs. It's exactly the same. And we talk about firing Tomlin or improving our team. What's the fucking point in improving your team if you can't get through the Chiefs?
You can't get through. And if the Patriots build themselves back up to the way they were, we can't get through them. So we're going to be definitely fucked.
Well, I don't know about that. The Patriots are pretty bad.
Well, they're doing stuff. They're hiring coaches and firing people.
Maybe the Raiders will build themselves up with Pete Carroll.
Oh, maybe.
I don't mind that hire, by the way. I think it's a good hire. And we're going to talk about It's like Seinfeld right now, a show about nothing, because the Steelers have done nothing. Nothing. Nothing like that.
Am I George or are you
Yeah.
Kramer or who are we? You Seinfeld?
Nothing. He's like, nothing. Could be about something. No, it's about nothing. Because that's what it
Yeah.
feels like in terms of what has happened over the last 2 weeks. The Steelers have not fired or got rid of OC, got rid of DC. We had the interview with Art Rooney II. And as much as I love this team and I love the organization, there really isn't much being said.
Mm-mm.
Like, what have we really heard that was different from last year?
Well, last year was a little bit more meaningful, maybe. This year, it's just it's all empty. They're just. I think Art the Second just wants to just keep it status quo like Bob Nutting. I think him and Bob Nutting probably had lunch together, and Bob's like, "Well, Art, this is how you do it. Just do it this way, and they'll still keep coming in droves."
Like, I wouldn't even mind if there was a certain comment like what Dan Campbell did. You know, we're going to fall down and bite kneecaps. Like, get the fan base something to be excited about. And Art Rooney, you know, classic businessman, but he's just not saying anything to excite the fan base. Do you know what I mean? Like, we legit have no idea. In my life, I don't know what direction, I'm going to talk about today, what direction the Steelers are going to go with the quarterback. Do you?
I have no idea.
No idea.
I have no idea. This is ever since we lost to the Ravens, Steeler news talk, anything, me doing limbo. It's just everything's in limbo. Nobody knows nothing.
Yeah, and that to me, like, for many years we had Big Ben for 18 years. You're like, oh, you build around him, you're gonna get a new receiver, you go and get some defensive pieces, you go and get some O-line. But it's like the Steelers don't even at the start don't even have a quarterback. And you look through all these teams in the playoffs, and you've got Jaden Daniels look pretty fun. He's their guy for the franchise. You've got Joe Burrow, you've got Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen. Like, he's their guy for the next 4, 5, maybe 10 years. You've got Patrick Mahomes. We don't have that guy. And I don't know what, I think there should have been hard-hitting questions for Art Rooney to answer some of these things and say, well, he was either going to say, well, I want to bring back Justin Fields or Wilson, but not both. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we need some firepower because we can't keep up with everybody else with the firepower. We got 22 shells. You can't really kill anything with 22 shells.
What are they? What's that? Like a shotgun shell?
22 shells it's small little shells, small rifle, 22 rifle over here in the States. You could pick off maybe a pigeon or maybe a wounded groundhog, but you need some like high powered rifles. Some good high powered ammo. We don't have that offensively.
Do you have faith in the Steelers organization that they will turn this around the next few weeks and start making moves? If even if this is hiring new coaches or have a bit of a plan, or like it does feel very empty right now. It feels a bit like what's going to happen next. You have any faith?
Right now, no. I do not, because I've been dealing with this. I've been trying to be positive. And I have no idea what's going on. I mean, they signed Skylar Thompson. Whoop-dee. I mean, last year at this time, there was news, and there was news all the time. Now there's nothing.
Well, there was talk around getting, I think, Arthur Smith and then later on track, they went and got Russell Wilson, and that was pretty exciting for that. And then they went and got Fields. I know it's still pretty early and it's crazy how the NFL season works. It does feel like it goes for a very long time when you're out. Because
I got stuff in the comment. Sorry about the 22 comment. I guess it's a high. You could kill stuff with a 22 gun. I meant it forically, like just in the basis of the ammo, maybe
a water gun.
Let's go with a BB gun or. How about a rubber band gun? When you put the rubber bands on a wood gun?
In the NFL, you can't do pointing for guns, so we allowed to say guns online? Probably not.
Probably. Well, or I don't know, like a sharp knife, like a sharp steak knife. Like the Steelers need to be a sharp knife to cut through the steak.
You're saying
we are a butter knife.
Butter knife right now.
We're a butter knife. Butter.
Like, I try and be as positive as I can, try and rally behind the team. I just feel very flat at the moment because that's why I'm doing all these videos about boycotting Super Bowl and talking that, because I can't really get into the mode of what the Steelers need to do next. Like, there's so many different questions and pieces they need, but I don't think Art Rooney has given us much.
If he would have said differently, if he would have been like, look, we didn't do this, we need to do this. I'm looking to get some money. We're going to restructure some contracts on the defensive side. All that money that's getting restructured, we're putting it all on the offense. I'm going to have people go out and we're going to assign some offensive weapons, something like that that's intangible that we can hold on to. I'd have been like, okay.
It could be funny. You could probably almost, replay the 2024 one from last year, in January this time. And it'd probably be the exact same thing because we didn't have a quarterback or there's no real direction, right? What is your idea about maybe the perfect quarterback or the quarterback we need for this team?
Oh my. We need a quarterback that's a leader on the field and off the field that has the athletic ability to run out the pocket if need be, due to the fact that the tackles and the pass protection break down, and can throw the ball with a strong arm and is very accurate and has that commanding presence on the field. Something like that, but I don't know where we're going to get it. But
I think I know it sounds like it's going to be very tough to find because I don't think our next quarterback is a free agent. I think if you were to go with someone, the plan would be to probably go with Fields for the next 3 years because he's mobile. Like I love the way that Wilson played for the first few games, but I don't know if I can stomach a whole season with if they sign to me Russell Wilson next year, you have to go and win a Super Bowl next year. You can't build upon that.
Right.
You just got to go and win one out of the blue somehow, right? Something
right.
really crazy, but they won't do. So I'd say you'd have to go with Fields would be the number one guy to get because he wants to be there, wants to work with Arthur Smith, and he's mobile when things break down. And like all these other quarterbacks, when they break down, at least you get another 20 yards. And then you're 15 yards running, and then you get a first, unless you're versing the fucking Chiefs and you get no yards, because even if Fields ran past the fucking sticks, they'd probably bring it back.
Yep. It'd be a holding penalty. Be a holding penalty on Dan Moore, and then we'd bring it back.
Yeah. So, what are your thoughts on that? I think if they're going to sign anyone, probably needs to be Fields because I know maybe he's not the best passer or thrower or whatever when you're trying to read the game, but at least if it's 3rd and 3 and he runs for 10 yards, you get another first down.
Right. This Fields is a better athlete, and we're going back in my chronological bank, and everybody probably in the chat that's listening. Back after Bradshaw, it was all these quarterbacks. They thought it was the second coming, like Mark Malone and Cliff Stout and all these other ones, David Woodley. It wasn't. It took us 26 years. Now, Cordell, Neil O'Donnell, Cordell was a prototype, which he was, it's before his time. If we had Cordell now, we'd have a franchise quarterback. I believe that. But we had all this time and all these quarterbacks. Kent Graham was a Steeler quarterback that didn't do anything. So Justin Fields has more talent than most of the guys I've just talked about. So if they do sign him, if they bring people around him, then we could do something. But our offense has to get to modern times.
I'll bring Shane here in a minute, but I do feel like, look, I didn't mind the change with Wilson at the start when he was winning games and this and this.
No, I didn't mind it either.
I feel like, though, it's a bit of a waste to me. People talk about wasting certain players. You've got Chris Boswell on your team who can fucking slot it from 57. So get the ball to halfway, and if you can't score a TD, kick a 3. I just think that sometimes I think this season and last year, what frustrates me is the defense could have obviously played better. Maybe if you had Fields there, maybe they were never going to change back. But now it feels like if they run with Fields, was that a mistake not playing him the second half? Do you know what I mean?
No, I don't think so because Russell was so good till we went down to Baltimore and then the bottom fell out. I mean, that was the first game that had the last 5 games that we lost. So I just feel, but also too with Boswell, we still got to score touchdowns here and there. We can rely on Bos, but our offense, we can't even, we get the ball in the first possession. We can't get nothing. We're not even getting 3 points. We're getting 3 and out,
Let's bring in Shane, our number 1 overall pick for the 2026 Pittsburgh Steelers draft. Here we go. The Pittsburgh Steelers select.
There you go.
Oh, hey, mate.
Your first pick.
Wife got a new doorbell.
Yeah, it's yours. There you go.
Every time that bell rings, a 6'3", 220-pound linebacker shows up at my doorstep.
That's
We
very
wish.
ready.
The Steelers, right? We need linebackers.
We need something. How you doing, Shane? How's your week been, mate? What's been going on in Shane's neck of the woods?
It's flying by. It's just I hear you guys talking, but there's one person that's been on 2 of these podcasts that's been ringing the cowbell for Justin for old Fields for the past 8 months.
Yeah. Well, who would that be?
Me.
Who's that?
Me.
A horse jack.
See, when they changed to Russell Wilson, you weren't a fan of it, but did you like the result?
Okay, I can see. I was surprised because, as you know, I thought Fields is going to be the team MVP.
I wonder how. That's what I do find funny, right? If the Rooneys do go with Fields this year in 2025, it makes you think about why didn't they just go him the rest of 2024? Like that's what I would say from my perspective. Like that would annoy me a little bit. But like, okay, they're going to give him a 3-year deal, but you didn't want to play him the rest.
Even the back end of that. Okay, you're going to keep these guys for 1 year. Run the wheels off that guy on third down.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's a bit strange.
Tomlin had Russell Wilson, and he wanted him so bad to play, I believe.
Because I think that they're always going to go Russell Wilson because he was QB1, he got hurt, and then Fields had a chance, right? So if Fields was never hurt, they're going to go Wilson, and maybe if he struggled, then Fields comes in. But they almost put themselves into a hole, and they didn't want to change back to Fields because they wanted to give Wilson a chance. And I thought he played well to a certain degree, but then sometimes he played really fucking awful. So my question would be, if I'm looking at it, if you bring back Fields, you've kind of lost, 10 games you could have saw him play? And then if he struggles in 2025, we're like, oh crap, should have brought back Fields. I don't know. I'm just like thinking things out loud. I don't know.
Well,
that's a good conspiracy.
This was my thought process. With Fields, you had a lower ceiling, but the drop off wasn't quite as low. I think with Russell Wilson, you had a higher ceiling, but also I think you could drop down a little bit lower just because he's older. He has some bad, in the past, he was propped up when he was in Seattle. He had fantastic defenses. And if you think back to when the Steelers were whooping some ass, that was when they had the defense was playing lights out. And Boswell propped them up a little bit. So, they were shown for who they were as the teams got better. And also when they made mistakes. When Wilson made mistakes, he wasn't good enough to come back. The teams that have like your Burrows and your Allen and your those guys, you can make a mistake and kind of get away with it. You can't with
you can drive in the field again with Jaden Daniels or Burrow and come back and get 7, right? We just can't make mistakes. And Tomlin's way is to play close football games defensively, get turnovers, and we verse the teams right now. Philadelphia's in the Super Bowl. We versed KC. We versed the Ravens, who beat us. We versed Burrow, who almost got in. So we versed some really tough teams in the end. It did feel like they can only beat good teams, but not great teams. And that's why I made this. The Steelers need a franchise quarterback. Not too sure what you guys called it on your end, but I feel like we need someone like that, Shane. I know it's hard to get a Mahomes, to get a Josh Allen, but these guys have these quarterbacks for 10 years. What do they do? Like, what do we go to the draft? Do they have to go to find someone in free agent period? Do you go with Fields next year to be a franchise guy?
It seems to be the lottery ticket to get scratched off. And I think that's basically what it is. You go to draft day because getting a quarterback in free agency just doesn't work, in my opinion. Think back to when it has. I really can't think off the top of my head. None of them pops out. But these guys that get the Josh Allens and get the Patrick Mahomes, they get them out of the draft because they see, oh my gosh, this ticket's going to hit. And that's just what happened with Ben back in the day. I mean, people were like, okay, played at Miami, the school in Ohio, or did he play?
But he was a physical presence.
Right.
Very,
more you have a lot of those guys that are the 6'4", 6'5", but he was a monster, but I'm just saying it translates to the point where Benham's good because he could because he's creative. He created some opportunities. I think you got to give the quarterback a little bit of liberty with that. But like I said, getting back to the point, it's like a scratch off. And the Steelers, I'm hoping, have a $30 card, not a $5 or $1 card when it comes to getting a fucking quarterback.
Maybe it's the way they bring the talent into the organization and they don't develop them because they can't develop quarterbacks when they do draft them. Like a Landry Jones, Mason. They had Mason Rudolph sitting there on a long time, and then Mason. Now he's petered out in Tennessee.
Josh Dobbs, Chris Oladukin gone. They bring him in and they're gone. That's quite a problem as well, I find, with the draft, because also with the receivers, they're all gone too. Dante Claypool, the guys over the high receivers, they just seem to have big problems. And there's now talks about that George Pickens could be traded. I think keep him, but the Steelers drafting wise over the last few years in certain aspects have been pretty bad. But quarterback wise too, Josh Dobbs and those guys, maybe they're not being QB1s, but they're just not keeping him on the roster. So, and you are right, Jen, like how many people have free agent quarterbacks, maybe besides Stafford, or a trade where they go and win a Super Bowl? It's like it's homegrown talent.
Baker Mayfield's the only one I can think of that was a gem.
Oh, he turned it around. He went right around.
The Browns could F up a wet dream. I mean, seriously. I mean, they could screw up anything.
It's the culture in the Pittsburgh Steelers organization anymore. It's when you said, Mark, about all those receivers, every single receiver that we have drafted in the last 15 years that is a starter or whatever has had some kind of issue, except for, even though Hines Ward had issues, but Hines Ward wasn't like all these other receivers. And Antonio Brown was that cocky until he got the money, until he got that hit in the head. But most of the receivers that we have had these issues where no one's telling them, hey, shut up, get in there, run your route, and don't be such a diva. There's nothing like that. No one's telling these guys to shut up. And I think that's a big problem too.
Well, you can't, I don't think you can afford to, like they lost Deontay Johnson, they lost picks for Claypool, but got it back with the JPJ stuff like that. But I don't know. It is a problem, I think, from receiving wise. We've been known to draft great receivers, and then that seems to be falling away over the last, I think, couple of years. So it could be that problem too. And I do hear there's been the talk around that Mike Tomlin can't develop a quarterback, and maybe that's true. Maybe that is true, and he needs a veteran quarterback in there. That's why he maybe went the route of going to Russell Wilson. And J-Devil says we could really use Hines. So what are your thoughts, fellas, about bringing back other Steelers? Because there are other Steelers around the league, but they're not with us. Like Randall L is with the Lions. Big play Will Gaze with the Commanders. Some other guys out there in the NFL, they're just not with our side.
Well, I think if they're like Hines has experience being a receivers coach, and Hines can instill the Steeler way in that locker. There's no Steeler way in that locker room now. Because Cam and TJ are leaders, individual leaders. I don't think they're getting their message across or even bringing the message out, because it ain't like it used to be when they were going for championships. I mean, it's a different mindset in this organization now. I hate to say it. I mean, the Steelers that I know and love all my life, people do not fear us anymore. Doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. The defense is not. Tomlin needs to let somebody develop his quarterbacks. He needs to just be the top guy on the mountain and let the coaches coach. And that is a big problem too.
I got a question for you both, and I'll start with Shane. Who is the person when you think of the Steelers right now on the active roster, who represents them the most?
Boswell. It's pretty sad. No. All joking aside, I would say you'd have to say Cam or TJ. I mean, because Cam's been there since.
Is that our problem though? Because
he's the only thing that bridges them back to the past, to success.
I got a few Cams. I've got to point to this though. Is that our problem that it is Cam and it's not a quarterback like Lamar Jackson or Joe Burrow or Mahomes?
Yeah, Cam's not loud and in your face. He's not like going to sit there and I don't know. It's just this is a leadership question.
I think the leadership is going to be coming new, and I think it's going to be Frazier, the center, that's going to be the heart and soul of the leadership on the Steelers, because he's tough, he's determined, and he lets his actions on the field speak for him as a rookie. He made the All-Pro rookie team. If people don't listen to him, he could probably like put him in a wrestling hold and tell him, hey, this is slam him down, and then this is what we're going to do. Because even Cam is the vet, Shane. He's not telling these guys.
No,
I just think he's not grabbing him by the face mask and like, hey, quit effing up. Like there's just no there. And then TJ just does his own thing.
I'm more talking about, like, I agree with those answers, but I'm more talking about, like, if it's Pat Mahomes versus the Steelers, who's going to face him on the other side of the billboard? And around the league, you have your Josh Allen, you have your quarterbacks, you have your Barkleys. We don't have
anybody.
No, we don't have a face. TJ Watt's the closest thing to the face of the organization.
Yep.
Right, and I think that, like, that probably needs to, as they're getting older, probably needs to change. Like, I know Barkley went from the New York Giants to Eagles, but that just just made their club go crazy and was having a great running back. Derrick Henry went from the Tennessee Titans to the Ravens. They went fucking on fire. You know what I'm saying? Needs to be a big move like that where you get a big playmaker who can take the ball, score TDs. I think Najee's on the way out. Or you got to develop a quarterback and make something exciting. The Broncos now have Bo Nix, had a pretty good season. He's their guy, right? We don't seem to have that, and we have had that for 18 years, and maybe Big Ben stayed too long. That's kind of my point, though. It's like we have the teachers, we have the great defense, we have the Minkas. We haven't got that guy next to versus Mahomes versus this guy, because that's what the NFL wants. NFL wants Josh Allen versus Mahomes, and then the refs come out and they're throwing flags up and everywhere, you know?
We don't have that.
Going crazy. We don't have that, do we?
Spot on, you know, like Ross Kelly, Steelers chick, Dawn, Mr. Tommy. I've never seen Mr. Tommy. I love that name. But so check it out, guys. This is going to be Mika's last year, I think, because, I mean, he's not going to play this year. I think they're going to trade him because they owe him a lot of money, right? Pickens, another guy. You might get something for him if you trade him, but who are you going to get?
But you can't trade him, Shane, because we have no receivers. We have no receivers. We can't trade him now. So we get somebody.
There's going to be a lot of change in the offseason, but I don't think that the receiver core we have is absolutely going to be different. But do you move and get a draft? Do you draft a kid that might be a number 2? I don't know, but all the way too early draft websites have the Steelers drafting a wide receiver in the first round, then a cornerback, and some of them look really good.
If they trade Minka, it's not a bad idea, but that to me would say that, okay, they're not changing coaches, they're changing personnel. That would be insane, because
who do you bring him in, though?
Well, if they did it, though, he's got 2 years on his contract for a lot of dollars. You got to trade him away to get picks back. They could do it, but that's almost like changing everything about what they do without, because he plays so deep and there's never ball going over the top.
He's a pro safety.
So I don't know if they did that. The
Steelers,
they're pretty much changing over everything. You know,
they have to restructure every single defensive player on that team, restructure all their contracts, get that 147 or 150 million down to 95 million or 100 million or something. They got to put all that money and go get some offensive talent. If they don't get no offensive talent, we're going to be doing our podcast, pulling our hair out, because it's going to be the same stuff. And okay,
he's already had it.
Yeah. Yeah, and we got to play Lamar twice and Burrows twice, and God only knows who the Cleveland Browns draft, because they're going to draft a quarterback. So, I mean, we ain't going to have anybody, and it's just not we're playing Tecmo where we should be playing Madden 2025 offensively.
Do you think, Shane, that the Steelers would make those big moves by trading away Pickens and Fitzpatrick? Like legit, honestly, not from what you want, but what you think the Steelers would do?
Last year, I would have told you, you're crazy. That's not going to happen. But they made a lot of moves in the last offseason.
They did.
That are un-Steeler-like. Mm-hmm. So this year, I don't know. We'll see. Khan looks like the riverboat gambler as far as I'm concerned, compared to what they've had in the past. They're going to have to. It's not a matter of if, it's that they have to. So it's when and what moves are they going to make.
Is that because they haven't won with these pro players and they have to get some draft players back for them and start kind of fresh again? Rebuild the D line and that kind of stuff. I think that might be it because Minka played well, I think, last year with tackles and he was all over the shop, but he wasn't making big splash plays like he was when he first came to the. And I don't hate Minka. People want to say that he's awful, but he's a good football player.
It was a scheme that made him the way he played it this year. He played the scheme and the schematics where he wasn't letting up the super big play. But the running game on a lot of teams killed us because our run defense was pathetic. After that 10-3, after we lost, our defense went to shit.
How do you replace him, Bubba? How would you replace Fitzpatrick?
You can't. I don't think you trade him. I think you ask him to restructure his contract and all of them.
That's good.
TJ, him, Highsmith. You ask him to restructure. Maybe give him maybe another year after that. Say, hey, look, we have the defense that can compete with everybody, but that last showing down in Baltimore, we got a lot of money on this defense and it's not producing. You guys, if you want to make it and be a Steeler here and go back to the Steeler ways, let's restructure your contracts and get some offense and make it 75 offense to whatever, get more in the offense than the defense. Right now we have all the defense. We're the highest paid defense in the NFL and we have 299 yards against us no matter who. So you might as well, you could get rid of everybody. Problem. You could get rid of everybody on defense and then it'd be the same thing. I mean, but you're going to get 200 and some yards getting rushed against us every game.
You guys got to help me out. So I understand the Senior Bowl's on this week, right? And the coaches are there. Senior Bowl just mean that the players who are going to the draft, the oldest players. Is that right?
Let me tell you a guy that got in a fight at the Senior Bowl, and he played with Frazier last year on West Virginia's offensive line. His name is Wyatt Millum, and he is going to go in probably the second round, and he would be a steal for an offensive, guard or tackle. I mean, he can play both, but. There's a lot. The Senior Bowl, to answer your question, it is.
I'm a bit confused. Is that right? So guys that they go into the draft,
it's like an all-star game.
But do they play hard? They hit each other hard, or is it like the Pro Bowl?
Yeah, it's like the Pro Bowl. I mean, they hit hard enough because unlike the Pro Bowl, these guys are playing. I don't want to be a second rounder. I want to be a first rounder, and this is why. I'm better than this guy. So there's a little bit of chip on their shoulder, but It's just
they get invited to the Senior Bowl by whoever.
Mm-hmm.
That's next week, right?
They pick some, like hey, these
because
guys
we have the Pro Bowl and
that's not even worth watching. That's not even worth watching.
Well, you got Ciamalo there.
What's he going to do? Play? He might be playing pickleball. I mean, it's not. I'm not even watching that. That's not even worth watching.
I don't watch any Pro Bowls.
Yeah, I used to back when I was a kid. The Pro Bowl was a big thing. They played their hearts out, and they played. Not anymore.
Bubba, you remember they played for an extra 40 or 50 grand.
Yes,
which was on top of their $200,000, salary.
Right.
So that was the difference in, hey, I can buy a new car and go on a vacation, and
Yeah, because they weren't making the money that they made now. I mean, these players in the NFL now, the shittiest players make way more than guys that were played in the 70s and 80s that were Hall of Famers, and that is pathetic.
I think the Pro Bowl died when Sean Taylor knocked out the punter. I think that was the last best play that I ever seen in my life.
He was a good player too.
He knocked him clean out. Like the punter went to do a fake scramble or something like that, and then Sean just came down and just knocked him. It hasn't been the same. But the reason why I bring it up is because Russell Wilson is going to, and they call it the Pro Bowl games now.
What?
It's not even called Pro Bowl.
Well, that must have just happened today then.
Yeah, he's someone Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen is out or something like that, and he's taken their spot. So he's been selected to the Pro Bowl, which look, he didn't have a Pro Bowl year. It's not like back in the day.
So does his contract go up now since he made the Pro Bowl games?
I'm trying to think what uniform will he wear? Does he wear the Broncos or Seattle? What does he wear our helmet?
He's going to wear the Raiders. He's going to probably wear the Raiders.
Yeah, I like Russell Wilson. I think he's a good human. I think he's really funny. Right. I think he's like quirky and whatever. I think he's good for the game. If he goes to Raiders, fine. If he stays with us, then boy, we're in for a hell of a ride. But do you think he'll go to Pete Carroll on the Raiders?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They have the money to pay for him.
I think it could be a possibility to finish his career with Pete Carroll, and the Raiders will be a destination where it's kind of like that'd be fun for his personality, and I think growing. And
he has a chance to get the Raiders to a better than they were the last couple of years, and get the Raiders just to the playoffs. And the Raider Nation or the Raider Black Hole would be great because they haven't been to the playoffs, because that'll be something that they could cheer for. Where our stuff is still championships. That is what
right. The bar is a bit lower, right?
Time out. I want you guys to stop being Steelers fans. Like, just pretend. Put on your pretend hat. Okay. And you're just a football player. Okay? And this is a business opportunity for you.
Okay, but I'll close my eyes.
Add the cool factor that you have your wall in your man cave, and you have your Seattle Seahawks helmet, you have your Denver Broncos helmet, okay, your Steelers helmet. Oh, and let's just put a Raiders helmet over on this corner as a bookend. And you're getting paid a lot of money.
And you're going to Vegas too.
Yeah.
I think it'd be good because also see that Sierra, there's the singer, she's probably going to book out shows and stuff like too.
She's going to book some shows, and she's going to give them a little bit more, you know what, because she gets to go shopping.
Yeah.
Well, so shopping.
Win. You know, no matter how you look at it, he's going to be happy.
Well, he was happy with Pete Carroll. I don't know how it ended in Seattle. I don't know. I can't remember why it ended so bad, like it did badly or not, or they just moved on. But they won a Super Bowl together and went to 2. And you've got the tight end Brock Bowers, who's a superstar. You've got some Max Crosby on the defense. Like the Raiders are that team where they just got to win 9 games or 10 games to get a wild card, and they go crazy. And if Wilson played football like the first 6 games, 7 games, they'd love him. They love him like that, So it could be a possibility. And it's something the Raiders would do too. They definitely bring back a 35, 36-year-old quarterback. So it could be a possibility.
You want to hear my Sierra story?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Guy I work with, he lives in Morgantown. He works in Morgantown. His son lives somewhere in Pittsburgh. I can't remember where. He did tell me. So his son just left an ice cream spot, a really nice ice cream spot in Pittsburgh. This was fall time frame. Opened the door. This girl had hat, sunglasses on, and he's like, I know her. He opened the door, and it was Sierra with her kids. And he didn't say anything. He just opened the door. He's like, tell Russ to I wish him all the best, And she just looked at him like you know who I am. He's like, don't worry, I'm not going to say anything, And he said she was really nice, and the family seemed pretty nice. So I'm not hard assing Russ. And right. I through the season, I'm like, I don't like him because he's handing out his jersey like he's been here a minute. He did well enough for the Steelers, but at the end of the day, it's a business for him. And I'd rather see a young talent come in and establish themselves as a cornerstone of the Pittsburgh community. Literally.
Right. That's what I'm thinking too. Is the next franchise guy or something can build into the next guy, something like that. You bring back Russell Wilson, I think the fan base might jump off. Well, how many bridges are in Pittsburgh? 444.
Oh, there's 1,000 of them. There's
there'll be everybody be jumping off. But you go with Fields or someone younger who's more mobile. It's like, it's something different, So I think there could be a possibility Russell Wilson might go to the Raiders. Is there any other place, Shane, he might go? Because he's going to play the next 2 years. He's going to find another job somewhere.
No,
will he go anywhere else?
That's the landing spot, from what I hear. So, guys.
Yeah, he won't go to the Jets or anything like that. He won't go to that.
Now, with that being said, are they going to lock Fields in? Is he going to get paid a little bit?
Yeah, but I don't know how. I don't think they'll pay him a big contract.
No.
But also, too, if somebody throws money at Fields, he might not be around.
No one's going to throw money at him.
Somebody will. Somebody might. Somebody is stupid. You got Jerry Jones down there making a Schottenheimer the coach because he's a goddamn idiot. So
who's that bloke? Wasn't his father a coach?
Yeah, Marty Schottenheimer.
His father played basketball against my dad for the state championship or state semifinals or whatever.
Who won?
Oh, that's right. You told me that.
Did Marty win?
He lost by 1 point.
Sorry, your dad lost by 1 point. Oh, bugger.
Yeah, but that team your dad played on was one of the greatest high school teams of all time in this area. In
So
an area where I
Marty
live.
was he a Charger
Chief.
coach
Chief coach.
Cleveland Browns and Kansas City Chief.
for a long time, right?
Yeah.
And weren't they bad back then?
They're
No?
good.
They were always in the playoffs.
They had a guy named Christian Okoye that was like 6'3", 245, probably 260. They said
He the running back. He was the
The
fast guy, right?
Nigerian nightmare.
Yeah.
They thought he had a neck roll, but that was like his neck roll. If you know what I mean.
He actually coached Mark. He actually coached Joe Montana because Montana went to the Kansas City Chiefs and actually beat the Steelers in the playoff game.
You know what's funny when we look back in history in like 20 years time, 30 years time, all we're going to talk about is the Chiefs went to 7 fucking AFC Championship games in a row, and there's no like diversity in there. It's going to be so boring.
And George T's right. Cowher was Marty Schottenheimer's defensive coordinator.
You got knowledgeable fans, you know.
Marty was coached. So there was another guy I was thinking of for the Chargers. I'm just thinking of a different coach, or it might be someone else. Okay, is his son not good?
You're thinking Don Coryell.
Put Andre's comment up.
Who's that? Mike Galenti?
I think he doubled up on his neck roll.
Yeah,
I gotta see this. Hang on.
You'll never find him.
Is he like?
No, he's a high school football player.
He played ball with me. We were
he's high school
together. I was a strong safety. He was a middle linebacker. I had to go up against him every day in practice.
This Ben guy, Ben Schotten, what his name is, right? Heimer.
Marty
He's not a good coach. But his son.
I thought they would have got somebody else. I don't know. He probably is good at the X's and O's, but Jerry's still going to have a hand. Like I thought, and I talked to a Cowboys fan yesterday, and they're not happy with this pick, and he's a lifelong Cowboy fan. And I honestly, he thought that Sanders was coming, but Sanders and Jerry Jones would be going like this, and that's why I think he went with Schottenheimer. But I don't know.
Well, there's only one more head coaching job, right? The Saints, is that right?
Yeah,
I think that's the last one.
How you doing?
Yeah, Garth. What's going on?
Now,
I
here's
don't know
the
what we're
thing.
gonna do.
Now, when we do the draft, should we do like segments, like first round segment, second round, and just break up the videos?
Well,
or just go like the whole way through?
Actually, I don't know what I'm going to do this year because I don't know if I can do it. Actually, I might have to work.
You got to work. I might be working too, and I can't go off sick because they're like, "Oh, what's Bubba doing a YouTube thing?" I have to wait and see.
Well,
but definitely the 26th, though. They already gave the dates. Those dates are already set in stone for the thing.
Oh yeah. That's definitely happening.
Oh yeah. I'm taking off for that.
I think me and Maddie got to try and be there for the week at least. But yeah, for this year's draft, I got to figure it out with work because I don't know. I'm already taking time off for the week before that to play a pickleball tournament. And when you have 2 weeks off in a row, I want to try and go for singles, get some gold. Try and play. I don't play much anymore. And then the week after, it's a draft. And also, to be honest, it does kill me getting up at 3 a.m. Fucking sucks.
That does.
I'm not a huge fan of that. So, even though it's fun, but it wrecks my whole day. I'm just a zombie for the rest of the day. But anyways, that's enough about me complaining about that. Let's complain about the Chiefs more. And let's boycott the Super Bowl, boys. We ain't going. We're not going. I'm not doing it.
Not going to be good.
Going.
We're going to do a live stream, and that's about it.
I might watch that. I might watch you. I'm going to watch you watch the Super Bowl.
Yeah,
I might live stream you. I might live stream your stream and commentate what you talk about.
There we go.
That's it.
Yeah.
I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't care, but they're making it. They are turning this Kansas City team into the three-peat, into a dynasty, and that as the Steeler fans, we don't want that because the Steelers couldn't do it in the 80s, So that'll be the only thing that I will say. If it's got something to do with the Steelers, I don't want the Kansas City Chiefs to be the champions.
Yeah,
because that'll be the only team.
What about the Eagles fans, though, if they get another one?
Well, the Eagles fans they're assholes, but I'm going to go with Barkley. I like Barkley because he's from Penn State.
All day long. And come on. How can you not root for the Eagles against the evil empire of the Kansas City Chiefs?
Yeah, but they're fans.
Team, but their fan base sucks.
They're fans. Like, they're terrible.
Wow, man. I never want to go. I never want to get Eagles game.
Yeah,
if I get game tickets, they're gonna fight everyone.
Like,
I mean, we know some fans from Philly that are cool, but when you got 50 Eagles fans taking and going after a guy and taking his hat off and making him shit his pants before he gets to his car, I mean,
that's the one you see on camera. Imagine the one you don't see.
Wait a second. Are you talking about a story from the Rose Inn, or are you talking about Eagles fans?
No, I'm talking about the Washington fan. Me and Mark were talking about it. We've seen the video. A Washington fan, him and his wife or girlfriend or something, are walking back surrounded by Eagles fans. They were taunting them, and then the Eagles fan took his hat off his head. He didn't say nothing. He just kept going because what's he going to say? Give me my fucking hat and get his ass beat?
Yeah, I mean, 20 Eagle fans surrounding him. After says, is there a jail in the new stadium?
I don't know. There wasn't the old one after. So, Mark, if you didn't know that, they had a jail in the stadium.
Yeah, in the Philly one? That's wild, eh? Does every stadium have a jail? Like, no, that's no. On my Heinz tour, I didn't see a jail. Then didn't take me down there.
No, they'll just take you down to Allegheny. Allegheny's very close. That's
yeah. But I definitely want to see. I'm not going to watch it. I'm going to go do something else. But I might live stream you guys live streaming it, or I might just live stream grass growing. See if that works out.
I'd be
like see people watch that. That might be easier. People might want to come around and watch the grass grow. You know. I don't know
what? With your very exotic accent, what you should do is say you're streaming the Super Bowl, but you should just have otters having intercourse, and with your accent describe the plays. Like Patrick Mahomes takes it up the middle, and the otters are.
This could be an idea. I might stream a Madden version of it, simulation.
Yeah,
that might be better. Yeah, maybe
I'll more exciting.
Commentate the Madden version. Dead set. So Carth there's no new stadium has no jail. Yeah, no jail. So
that sucks, Carth.
Do not go to jail. Right, $200.
If I was building a Lego stadium, I'd put a jail in it for sure.
Yeah. Well, I guess if someone gets out of hand, it's easy to put them down there, you know. But yeah, Philly fans are a bit wild, man. They definitely are. Pepper says live stream Madden. So if I did like a real game, like 15-minute quarters, it'd go forever. It wouldn't it'd go for like for 2-3 hours. I'd probably get bored, but I did
that one time.
Have you guys seen that video where the grandparents are watching an NCAA game on PS5 and they think it's a real game, and the stupid grandkid, he convinced the parents that it was a real game. It was a PS5 game. You ever seen that?
No, I didn't see that.
It's terrible. Like, it was funny, but it's terrible. So these two grandparents are in the living room watching like Texas versus whoever, I don't know, Notre Dame, right? And it's a game on PS5, NCAA 25, and the graphics are that clear. It looks like a real game.
Pretty soon, that's probably what they're going to do. It's cheaper that way.
He just put that on the TV, and they were just watching a PS5 game when it should have been a real game. I don't know.
I watched a Madden game that they were simulating the Steelers' offense. And they had the pictures of, you know what? Surprisingly, the Steelers actually won, which was surprisingly. And they scored one touchdown the whole game. Everything was Boswell field goals.
Nothing new?
Nothing new. No.
George says, take us on a tour.
Boswell could be at Tequila Cowboys and still kick a field goal.
Isn't that what Jeff Reed used to do? Get drunk before and after the game?
Yep. He gets drunk now. He parties like a rock
star. He was a bit wild, wasn't he? He was like one of the first kickers I knew, because when I started watching in 2002, he was there. I think Jeff Reed with the crazy white hair.
They keep their kickers for a while. They had Jeff Reed. Then they had another guy. And then they had Sweesum. Sweesum got hurt.
Chris Brown. Chris Brown was one.
That's right.
He was in 2000. He was in
then Sweesum got hurt. Then they had Brown. Then they had Brown. That was
Norm Johnson. They had Norm Johnson when they played against the Dallas in the Super Bowl. Norm Johnson, and that was cool because when he kicked the field goal, everybody was like Norm, and that was a cool part.
So I think Chris Boswell needs about 400 points for the most points in Steelers history.
He'll probably get it next year.
400 points next year?
Yeah, maybe because he just we don't know who our quarterback is. Maybe
Oh,
they'll
wait.
maybe they'll
No,
just run the ball on a kickoff and have
you could be
Boswell
right,
kick.
actually. No, my apology. Is Gary Anderson has 1343, and Chris Boswell's got 1,127. So I was off. So what's that? Like 200 or something?
Yeah, I'm gonna look at the calculator, see how many field goals he'd have to kick.
He's going to be a Steeler for the next 3 years. He'll get it.
For 3 years, let's see.
Because our offense is not going to be high powered. It's going to be Boswell kicking field goals.
216 points he needs.
Let's just say he kicks 2 field goals a game and 2 extra points, right?
Probably 1 because we have no offense. We don't have quarterback yet.
Just say 10 points a game. So that right there is 160 for a year. So 150 a year, 160 a year.
He could break it next year. Actually, to get 216 next year wouldn't be out of the realm.
I would say halfway through the following season, he gets it.
But I think they have to sign Chris Boswell again, whatever contract he's on. Like he's on fire, and he could be the number 1 Steelers all-time points leader, which is that's a small win for we haven't been successful, but to have a great kicker it would be great to give him a Super Bowl. But that's pretty fucking unreal. And he was, I think, undrafted and came from someone else fell over and he got his job. He's been here for a long time. He had 150. He had 158 this year. Okay, so he had one. So dead set. Oh wow. So he had 2 more years then. Probably you're right. You're right, Shane. A year and a half. How does Afton know that? Is Afton sitting there with
she must have something, or she's got like a big network.
I did math on my calculator and
that was super quick.
That was quick. She's very astute on Steelers.
She's
records.
Got like one laptop with us on it, another laptop with like, okay, I've got the stats ready, and bang.
She's got like a whole bunch of monitors, and she just pulls stuff up and then just punches it in.
Yeah, that's excellent. But yeah, I hope he gets it. I think he'll sign a. G'day, Jamie. I hope he signs a contract.
We can't get rid of him because if we get rid of him, we have no scoring.
Yeah, that'd be silly. If they got rid of Boz, it'd be so dumb.
That's ridiculous. That's the only good thing that we have right now.
He's a Pittsburgh Steeler through and through.
He's the only jersey I'd buy because he's the only guy that like gets after it. You know what I mean?
I went to buy a jersey in the actual Steelers shop. They didn't have it. I wanted the Bumblebee Boswell jersey. I got to buy it online, but that's the one I wanted. But yeah, Boswell would be cool because I'm at the stage now. I've got too many jerseys there's the same home jerseys.
Not so many people got the Boz on their jerseys.
Not too many people have the 46 either.
No, they do not. You're the only one I know. I have to explain to people why you have a 46, and I'm like,
funny.
Because it's the long snapper, and they're like, why does he have the long snapper's jersey? Because he has the fucking long snapper's jersey. Because he wants him. Because his last name in Australia is a swear word.
Yeah.
And they look at me like I'm stupid, and I'm like, that's what it is. That's why he has
it. So they're stupid for not figuring it out.
Yes. Well, I know a lot of dumb people over here.
Here's a change of pace. What are your thoughts about Kenny Pickett getting a Super Bowl with the Eagles? You guys care?
He's going to get.
I don't care. I don't think it doesn't bother me.
No, he's not going to see the field, because it's not going to be a blowout. It's going to be a close game. But
he hasn't done anything to like as a player. He hasn't done anything stat wise to really. Hey, let me check it.
Wait a second.
You know, Juju had a better game. Juju had better stats.
I got to be Kenny Pickett. Wait, hold on. Be Kenny Pickett on the sideline. You ready? This is what Kenny Pickett says. Ready? What's that, Kenny? Kenny, is that you? Okay, we're warming up the bus, Kenny. We're ready to go.
That's it. Yeah, I don't think he does. Like, hasn't done any stat wise. Like, people are pissed off because the Steelers dropped him in now. He's in the Super Bowl. It's like he's the second quarterback. He's not doing anything.
He wasn't that good with us and with Philly. So I mean, realistically, Philadelphia's third string quarterback was actually half decent. You know,
he's had nothing in the playoffs. Not even like he's had a few kneel downs, but no passing. No, he's had 1-2 carries for -3 yards because it was kneel downs. In the regular season, I don't think did he play much. Kenny Pickett 25 attempts.
If they win, he's going to get a ring. He's going to get a ring though.
25 attempts, 42 for 291 yards. Must have played a backup game. 49, 2 TDs and one interception and 4 sacks. Like Kenny Pickett, if he gets a ring, it doesn't. People are pissed off about it. I just don't understand it.
Yeah, it is what it is. We shouldn't have ever drafted him in the first place.
Yeah, I just don't. Yeah, it doesn't really like.
And then
Because
we
the other
could have,
guy,
and then we could have had a quarterback. We could have shit the bed, and then probably got maybe a quarterback. Last year we could have
Yeah,
got Jalen Daniels or somebody good. Or
we
somebody.
would have had Trubisky the whole year though.
Well, we would, but having Trubisky for a whole year would got us a franchise quarterback probably.
Could have done.
Yeah.
But you can't, it's not the what if it league, it's the national fixed league, Bubba, because it's rigged.
Yes. Worse than the WWE.
Those calls were.
Hey, fellas, anything else you want to add to this show before we start to get out of it?
No, I have a show here in 10 minutes. So
what's your show about?
Yeah, put it up, Shane. I'll put it out. Give me the link. I'll put.
No, you don't need the link. It's Voice of College Football, West Virginia channel.
No, don't try to promote me, Mark. Don't try to help me out.
If these bums can't figure it out, then I don't want.
You bum. Get out, Rocky.
Yeah, bum rock. Yeah,
and it's a shame. Hopefully next week when we do this, we have something Steeler stuff. This is ridiculous.
Wait, what's next week? There's the Pro Bowl, right?
Next
week, Pro Bowl.
Hopefully some Steeler news would be great. Like something tangible.
Gonna be. I don't think it'd be none. I reckon there's none next week. I feel
news
like
is coming out. I'm gonna find out.
They're not getting rid of any coaches.
Chris Kuntz's favorite color, and also Boswell. We're gonna find out what his favorite storybook is when he was a kid.
But to me, there's the coaches aren't getting fired. It's just waiting for the free agent periods to open up and sign contracts. So they won't really do that. Anything for you, Bubba, to end the show or?
I have nothing. Tomorrow night we'll probably talk about the same thing. We'll just piggyback off what we talked about this game for tomorrow. So this podcast and then tomorrow's podcast probably be about the same. Me and Shane probably talk about crazy stuff unless tomorrow some Art Rooney's like, here's my checkbook, go do something, or we hire Hines Ward as a receiver coach. Other than that, I don't know what the hell they're going to do.
Hines Ward would be big news, wouldn't he, Mark?
Yes.
Oh yeah, 100%. If you brought back Hines in the building, that's someone you have to listen to. And if the receivers don't listen to him, even if you made like an assistant or something like that, just bring him in, like give him a title.
He's already strengthened that receiver room, and they will listen to him because they will fear him because they will respect him because he'll be getting in their face.
Yeah, I think somehow, some way, Ryan Shane's ears in the building a bit now too, but he hasn't got a title though.
He has the behind the scenes kind of.
He's just in there. So in terms of that, I wouldn't mind seeing someone like that get a title and come in and shake things up, and maybe take a little bit of not pressure off Tomlin, but like Tomlin can allow someone else to delegate different jobs and do different.
They need great Steeler linebacker to coach those linebackers, the middle linebackers, or inside linebackers.
Larry Foote just got, I think, a job with promoted for the I think the Lions.
Larry Foote's not bad,
but he's with the Lions though.
James Harrison's going to rodeos. That's what he's doing now.
My apologies. He's with the Buccaneers, not Lions. Buccaneers.
Well, we had somebody like James Ferrier or somebody that was into coaching, but Ferrier's not, like that. It was a Steeler. I know Dunbar's contract's not up. They didn't re-sign Dunbar.
Yeah, that's something to watch out for too. Will he come back?
Yeah, they need somebody.
You've almost got to wait and see to Minka and Cam if they do another. Like if Cam's going to retire, will he become a coach? Or will Minka become a coach because they're leaders on the field, but
they're not leaders in. They're not leaders in the locker room, and that's why we're in a disarray of the Steelers culture as we are, I think.
Yeah, that's why I think you need some person like a Baker Mayfield, like the guy, or Joe Burrow or Lamar Jackson.
Wait,
like that.
I wish we had Baker. If we had Baker, I'd tell you what, we'd be doing something, man. It'd be just entertaining because just his tenacity and his willpower alone, he can willpower you a couple wins just based on his willpower.
A few different things go our way. EJ's from New Zealand, and he told me the other day that he's going to a big Super Bowl party with all his mates, having beers and doing all these things. Having a good time.
In New Zealand, he's going to have a party.
Yeah, he's from New Zealand.
Wow.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
New Zealand. It's like what the heck was that? Not Kevin. That was Hercules. What was the girl, Shane?
Oh, from Xena, Princess Warrior.
Xena. Yeah, Xena, Princess Warrior.
Throw that shit down there.
Cena.
Xena.
Hello.
Yeah. Hello.
John Cena. All right, let's get out of here. Have you guys heard my song yet? That I got made by AI.
Oh, let's hear it.
Let's hear it.
All right, let's listen to that before we get out of here. So thanks, Bubba. Thank you, Shane.
Oh,
and
you're
we'll play
welcome.
this
See you guys.
on the way
See you
out.
tomorrow.
I'm gonna bring you guys out too because I'm gonna listen to it. See you guys later. Hooroo. Wait, how do I get? Hang on. See ya.
Stealing hearts in Australia. Favorite player cunts. Tallest 46, you know. Black and gold proud. Channel roaring loud. From the land down under, we feel the thunder. Rise up, Steelers Nation. Time for celebration. Fuck the Bengals. Let's go. Victories in tow. Day and night we cheer. Loyalty's crystal clear. On this channel we thrive. Steelery so alive. From Melbourne to Sydney, our hearts beat for Crunts. Watch the voice we treasure. Together we push through. Rise up, Steelers Nation. Time for celebration. Fuck the Bengals. Let's go. Victories in tow.
Alrighty, thank you, Steel Nation. I'll see you guys all later on.